I'm ready.
Are you
Hey,
ready?
everybody. I am ready. Are you guys
Woo!
ready? Hello, 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 hello. What an auspicious day here at the Real Time Wisdom Show with Lainey and Joanna. Welcome, all of you. We are going to have such a good time tonight. And we're just floating. We're just floating, Lainey and I, because our smoothie book
Wait.
started up.
I am on a magic carpet. I'm on a mushroom
Oh,
carpet ride.
Lainey is on
Not,
a mushroom carpet ride. That's right. We're floating on the mushroom clouds.
oh my God. Today is one of those days.
I'm
Why
telling you
is
what.
that? Yeah. What were you
Um,
going to say?
well, I was going to
Well,
say the big announcement, of course, is that our smoothie books arrived today. We had been waiting with plums, 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 plums. It felt like forever for this book to arrive, and it
yeah.
is finally here. So,
It's
all of you that pre ordered, guess what? Your smoothie book is going to be on its way very soon.
it's like the baby that's a little, like you've waited 9 months and then the baby is a little late. But when it arrives and everything is magnificent. So
Can I tell you that both of my sons were 13 days late and my daughter was 10 days late? Talk about plums.
that is plums all the way. Yay, smoothie books. Yeah, we're pretty excited. So,
Yeah.
well, anyways, welcome to the show. I'm really excited about this show. And before we get into our guests, we just want to mention a few announcements. But I'm just essentially saying I'm excited about the show and everything that we have going on. And I'm still actually coming down from the mushrooms. I mean, wait, I should preface that.
Wait a minute. You
Wait, I
didn't
got to
tell me
preface.
that.
I'm coming down from the mushroom high figuratively from our activating our psychic intuition workshop this weekend because that
Oh,
was very magical, very mushrooms in our
oh
world.
my goodness, was it ever? I'm telling you, and the feedback has been that uh people really got it. They got the expansion and what it takes to tap into their intuition. It was awesome. Hey, Denise, so good to she's saying what? I think she said that about your mushroom little trip.
I know. I have to realize, like, wow, that could be perceived differently, especially when people take edits, like little cuts of words that you say.
That's
But
right. It could
in
be
any
taken
case,
out of
it was
context.
amazing.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So,
amazing. They'd love to take it a future time.
and this next Saturday is my favorite, Archangels and Ascended Masters. I mean, like, I'm so looking forward to that one because it's like they're right there with us when we're talking about them. They enter in, we get to talk about the foods that they're associated with. It is a awesome class that we're going to be presenting on Saturday at 1 p.m. Still time to sign up, too.
So I have to agree. So, and it's interesting because the smoothie book is here, and we do have archangelic smoothies in the recipe book. I have to slow myself down because I wanted to say deck. So in our recipe book, we do have archangelic smoothies. So when you take our class, everything will kind of come together. We have chakra smoothies, we have nature spirit smoothies, we have everything, but it totally goes in alignment with the class. So that's exciting. And
Mhm.
what's also uber exciting is that we have our official smoothie commercial, which we'll play a little bit later on in the show, that we've been working pretty hard on. And so it's here. And I think we're pretty proud of it.
No, beyond. Liam, you, Howard, everybody did such a great job on that commercial. And my hands were in it.
Her hands were in it.
My
And I was
hands
a
were
good
in it.
move it here, move it there. Wait a
I
second, move
know.
it. It was
Great
a
director.
definitely a
Great
united
director.
effort. But
Yeah.
wait till everyone sees it. So
It
that's
was
coming
so
up
much
too.
fun.
Well, are we ready? Is there anything
I
else we want to share?
I think I checked all the boxes.
All right, here we go. So, what we wanted to talk about is the whole idea of feeding the body temple, but some of us need a roadmap, and the cards are amazing to do that. And there are people who are the spiritual people, and then there are people who are the science people, the people who've studied really thoroughly the mechanics for one, but also the interrelation and the holistic approach to everything being integrative. Because we talk about that, right, Joanna? Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual. But when someone really gets the whole understanding of consciousness, you immediately, like, it's like sister to sister, or, the connection, right? The Brussels sprouts are there. And that's what I had felt initially when I came across Loralee. And I didn't even know how I knew her. I just felt like I had known her for so long that's like, okay, like we are traveling the same highway. And then she would post something, and like a few days later I was posting something, and I was like, I gotta meet this girl. And I just wrote to her. I'm like, well, we've got to meet. Anyways, flash forward, she got her deck and she is here tonight. And I'm so excited. And we're going to be talking about such an important topic of, right, detoxification in ways that I think even you and I are going to learn a little bit. And we're advanced, food healing people. So anyways.
Absolutely. Well,
So
I have to say that for those of you that are not familiar, just friend her on Facebook or join her Facebook page, because there's always so much information that she posts on there. It's so good. I love looking at her post.
Well, we'll let her tell her more about herself. So anyways, everybody, welcome Loralee Humphreys to the Real Time Wisdom Show. Yay, Loralee!
Hello, everybody.
Yay. We could have gone on and on. We're like, well, why don't we just bring her on and let her go on and on about her amazing. Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, we're so glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm just happy to be here and having this literally juicy conversation with you all.
Pun intended. Yeah, you've posted a few things well before I reached out to you, and I'm like, can I reshare that? And then another one, I'm like, that's it. We're on the same train here. And it's been great.
Love when that happens.
Yeah.
So Loralee, do you want to just give a little bit of a background, just a snapshot? I know we have so much to talk about, and there are a lot of different people here who would, and who see the show afterwards, who may come from all walks of life and may know a lot about nutrition and not about consciousness, or may know a lot about consciousness but not still understand how the body works together. But give them a little bit of who you are, and we'll start there.
Well, I started on my health and healing path in college, partly influenced by the death of my mother, who passed from breast cancer after struggling with it for like 12 years. And at the time I was in the fear mindset of, oh my gosh, am I going to get it too? Because is it genetic? And so that was one of the many influential factors for me in really learning how to take care of the body, how to care for myself. What is that holistic natural healing? And so that set me off on a path that took me down many rabbit holes that's been very rewarding. And so now 25 some odd years later, I've been a body worker and energy healer for 20 years. I went back to school again to become a nutritional consultant. And then last year, I completed training to become a Tolman health coach, which where I work with my mentor, Tyler Tolman, and his family's legacy is all about combining ancient wisdom, holistic healing, understanding the current science and how all of that comes together. And a lot of it has to do with the beauty of whole foods. And so with all of that together and tying in also the emotional work, healing work, the consciousness development work, then, it's really a big picture that I hold of how to support the growth, the healing, the evolution of someone, and starting with wherever it is they're at and then taking them forward. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I mean. I could go on and on with that, but that's
we have so much to talk about. I think that's wonderful. I think that I know, and how you feel, Joanna, too. When you got the deck, did you feel the same way we feel about you? Or I don't want to put words in your mouth, but to see that we understood kind of your teachings, that there's so many components. And then we're going to go right into dis-ease.
Yeah.
But that's what we're trying to show. We are showing that it's all the components to a healthy state of mind, body, and
Yeah.
spirit.
Well, to
Yeah,
me, there's such synergy there, right? To me, with body, with the body, the consciousness, the what we feed ourselves, the consciousness of the food itself. As you know, we give the foods an energy, a healing wisdom word, and that all synergistically works together. Not everybody gets it, but you do. And people more and more and more are beginning to see that correlation and the synergy between what we feed ourselves and what we think and how we feel are all combined.
Yeah, that's one of the things that jumped out at me when I looked at your card deck and the little book that goes with it. It's like, oh wow, you combined it all together. You know, really getting the intuitive connection of understanding. It's like, yeah, there's consciousness in food, there's energy, there's intelligence. We can tap into that. That's what gets me really excited, and it ties. I mean, it's a direct reflection of all of my training and work that I've done, you know, with Tyler Tolman, as well as the nutritional training that I have. Is you know, we're designed to heal ourselves. We're designed to draw upon the gifts that Mother Nature gives us so abundantly, to understand what they do, what each food does, and what it can, you know, how it affects the body, the emotions, the energy system. So it's such a beautiful, synergistic whole way of approaching life. And I love how you guys have really pulled it together in these cards.
Yeah. She speaks
Thank
our
you.
language, Lainey.
She speaks our language. Well, can we jump into the subject of dis-ease? Because I think that's the whole purpose of why we're doing everything we're all doing, is when there is dis-ease, and where does it come from? And I'm going to let you start. I have a little baby bobcat. She's not really, but she's part bobcat, crying to get out. So I would love for you to talk about this, because that's the whole idea that everyone is looking to avoid. And how do we do it? So I think starting there and working our way around it and coming back to health is great. So we'll start there. What is the process of disease?
Okay, and very simplistically, it's so important to understand how the body functions so that we can know how to care for it. And one of the things, a very simple premise you can always go back to, is that the body is about 70% water. So when you keep that in mind, and then you can build upon other things of how the body functions, but always coming back to the understanding that we're primarily water. And so when we've got 65 trillion cells or whatever, each one of them, not only does it have its own little drop of consciousness and intelligence, but it's always functioning and doing its thing. And just the end result of metabolic activity is a little bit of acidic waste or ash. Like when you think of like something like burning off, you know, coconuts to make activated charcoal, ash that has an acidic pH. And so the body always needs to be cleaning itself. In the same, always needing to like take a bath, of going to the bathroom, of, you know, the body, the cells always need to be clean, because if the watery environment of the cells gets polluted, which happens often, it becomes acidic, and then it's acidic from metabolic wastes, from basic life, and from other things in the environment, which I'll touch on. But when that builds up, then the cells are not able to communicate very well together. They can't receive the oxygen and nutrients that they need, the blood supply, and they can't take out their own little garbage, or the lymph system and the circulatory system doesn't take away the little garbage. And so you've got this area of cells where toxicity, acidity builds up. When the acidity gets to be a certain threshold, then we get inflammation. And as we know, inflammation is one of the precursors to all disease. So anytime you have inflammation anywhere in your body, It's telling you there's too much acidity building up in the cells, and they're struggling, they're suffocating, they're not getting the nutrients and the oxygen. And so if we don't address that over time and distance, that area of acidity and inflammation is going to get bigger and spread, and cells will have a greater difficult time communicating with each other. They won't be able to function correctly because they're not getting what they need. And then their functions start to break down. The daughter cells cannot function efficiently. The dividing process of cells is impaired, which then comes into how the DNA is read. And so pretty soon you have weak cells, cells that start dividing inappropriately. The function starts to diminish, and compound that by cell, larger, more and more cell area of cells within a tissue. And then pretty soon you have what we call dis-ease. The cells are no longer at ease. That's also greatly compounded.
That's why we have purity for our water.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because that is the essence, is keeping our body pure, keeping our body without dis-ease. That's exactly what it's all about.
So if somebody would find themselves in that state of inflammation and just, their body isn't functioning like it should, I'd like to know, what is the fastest way to get your body to the state of health?
Okay.
Or maybe it shouldn't be so fast. I don't know.
It depends on the person. So again, we have to go back to, we're 70% water. And what are the things that we are doing to create that environment in the first place? Oftentimes it's a horrific diet of fake foods, I call it, of non-healthy foods that have a lot of toxins. Emotional issues that we're not willing to address, negative thought patterns. So that all of these different things affect the environment of the cells and their ability to read the energetic signals of their environment. So you first look at what you're doing. How are you living to create such an environment in the first place? And within the problem, there's always the solution. So if you're willing to identify what you're doing to create that condition, then you just do the opposite of what you've been doing. Stop doing the things that have created that condition in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's where the work comes in. That's where the habits come into play of like, oh my gosh, I have to move my body more, or drink real water, or eat real food, and have those conversations.
All the above.
Have this conversation so that the relationship is no longer toxic. And that's, where coaching comes in. So another thing to remember in the process of healing, in remembering that we are 70% water. So I often like to use this analogy of when you have this pond of water out in nature and the water's running smoothly through it, in the water, it's clear. There's fish, there's critters, there's things that are keeping it alive, animals and bugs and birds and foliage along the edge. It's a good, healthy ecosystem, just like the insides of our body. However, let's say that you back up one end, so that you back up the pond so that the water can't drain out, or you start putting toxic water into the pond. What's going to happen? So it doesn't take very long before pretty soon you have mold, algae growing, parasites.
Did we say that at the same time?
Huh?
Did we say that at the same time? Parasites?
Yes, definitely did.
It's so life diminishes. And so pretty soon the birds leave, the fish leave, the foliage around the edge of the pond dies. And so, the very obvious, simple solution to this then is to, number one, unplug the exit flow of the water, of the pond, so the water can leave. And number two, make sure that there's a good amount of fresh water coming into the pond so that it can then flush itself out on the other end of the pond. And then what happens? all of that smell, the bacteria, the molds, all the slime, all the ickiness, it just goes away. Mother Nature just takes care of it, and so that's the
Amazing
exact
how that works.
I like. And by the way, our love Tamara said you explain it so well. I think everything you're doing is explained really, really well. So thank you.
Oh,
You
thanks.
make it easy comparison. Plus, I love all the visuals. Our deck is visual. Like everything you do is visual. So I love how you explain that because you can really integrate that energy of everything happening in our sacred ecosystem.
Yes.
Yeah, it all
Yeah.
comes back to the environment that you're creating inside your body. And so using that visual, it's the exact same concept and solution for your own body. And that's where cleansing and detoxifying come in, because we know that the immune system is the only thing that is able to heal the body. The body is hardwired to self-regulate and heal. It has vast amounts of intelligence.
That's a quote.
When you think of the 65 trillion cells in our body, that's a community that knows how to get along and communicate and work together, number one. And there's so much intelligence there of how to manage and run the body. And within that intelligence, the immune system knows exactly what is needed to heal, to balance, to regulate. All we need to do is get out of our own way, give the body the tools and the space that it needs to do what it already knows how to do.
Beautiful.
And also rest from the digestive process, right? Doesn't that help the body to detoxify, is to just let it rest, is don't put anything in there that taxes the digestion. So would you say that is more fruit-based or more vegetable-based in order to bring that body to a detox level?
It all depends upon the person and what they need and their where they're at. So
I think that would be a pH response as well, as where they're at with their pH and looking at the pH of foods, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, it does. Again, it depends so much on the person and where they're at. So where we know that 70% of the immune system resides in the gut, then the immediate connection is, well, we got to take care of the gut to ensure that that's a nice, healthy thing. And then the next conversation is, what are you putting in your mouth? What kind of environment in your gut are you creating? So when it comes to cleaning and strengthening the body, there's the fast, faster, or fastest way of doing it. And which route we choose is determined, absolutely 100% determined on how strong and healthy you are at, or where you at, what's your constitution, the state of health, and your experience with fasting or cleansing, and what do you need, what particular organs or body systems are in need of regeneration and healing. So those, and that becomes very individualized. And so when I talk to people, number one, what I do is I look at their eyes. They're through with iridology. That tells us the body's so intelligent. The eyes don't lie. They tell us exactly what organs are in great stress, meaning there's inflammation and acidity there. And so from there, then we can ascertain what specific foods and herbs and protocols are needed to support the body in doing what it knows how to do.
So go ahead. So flash forward, or if we're flashing forward, since tonight's topic is about detox and we're kind of phasing in. So I think you're going to get to it next, so I won't even say anything. But I have a feeling we're there. I think we're almost there.
Yeah, like a couple more things. So let me lead into that. So when we talk about fast, faster, and fastest, fast means cleansing, rebuilding your body with whole foods. For somebody who really needs to strengthen and build and heal, and there's a lot of work to be done, we start out with fast, which means some juices, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, cleaning out the junk, smoothies, where we can talk about your smoothie book.
Mhm.
And then faster is moving into the next, where again, where you're building and strengthening your body to go from one phase to the next. Faster is a juice fast, liquid foods, herbal teas, veggie broth. Okay. And then fastest is a straight up water fast.
Mhm.
You can use herbal teas, you can use some veggie broth, but it's primarily water. So, people will have their misconceptions and fears, frankly, about water fast, because some people haven't understood how to do it appropriately. They go into it too soon without strengthening and building their body up first,
Mhm.
and then they run into problems. So that's why I always say, where are you at? Do you need fast, faster, or fastest?
Mm.
But you can do you can do so much healing with just the foods, just the herbs, the things and essential oils that Mother Nature has given us from plants. And
So
so,
if we were,
smoothies are great.
well, before the smoothies, the fastest water, right? Or faster, is that a day, 2 days, a week? Like, what are we talking about in terms of giving people reference?
Okay. Again, it's very individualized, depending on what the person needs. If you've never done anything, so let me just back up. If you're just starting with fast, where you're doing a clean, cleansing diet of fruits and vegetables, bringing in some smoothies and a juice now and again, you can stay on that indefinitely, or you can do it like a 28 days is a good starting point, and ready to go into the next thing, again, depending on what you're dealing with, what your body needs. You can do a juice fast anywhere from 3 days to 28 days.
Wow.
Yeah, again, depending on what's needed. And, there's some people up to 40 days, in spiritual traditions and scripture, then we hear a lot about the 40-day length fast for a lot of, not just the physical healing, but also the spiritual purification and expansion of consciousness.
Right.
And then
the longest I've ever done a juice fast is 7 days with fresh, fresh juices.
7 days.
7 days is what my max has been. But I do like a watermelon cleanse once a year, sometimes twice a year, just eating watermelon for 1 to 3 days just to cleanse things out. And so I've done different kinds of things, and it's really fascinating to hear you talk about what can get us there. And so don't you think it's might be helpful for everybody at one point or another, or maybe once a year, even if they're in a good state of health, to do a cleanse of some sort, or maybe a smoothie, day here and there, or a fresh juice day here and there. Lainey and I are really into the smoothies, of course, but even doing that alone, if you're in good health, a couple of days, or maybe even once a month, one day where you just don't eat, you drink your nutrition, is that's something that you advocate?
Yeah, that's a good way to start, and then you can gradually amp it up to longer, more extensive, deeper things based again on your intention and your needs. I just wanted to finish again real fast with the water fast. 3 days up to 21 days, again, depending on what's going on with you, and having some coaching to guide you through it. But with 3 days, then we know through the University of Berkeley, Berkeley in California, they've shown that the entire immune system can be reset and rebuilt with a 3-day water fast.
Wow.
And so when you think about the implications of that, it's like, wow, why wouldn't you? Especially if you feel like your immune system is compromised. And again, there's different practices and things that you can do with that to enhance that, and to make sure that you don't do things, quote, wrong. But fasting, cleansing, it's really important to always be doing it in some fashion. Ancient Egyptians, in their culture, they were some of the best, healthiest, cleanliest cultures around. It was a cultural thing that everyone did a 3-day water fast every full moon, every
Wow.
28 days. And then they also did a lot of colon cleansing and internal cleansing. They were a very clean, hygienically clean, healthy culture. And so considering that all of the toxins in our food, the environment, the water, our stress levels, everything, it's like we really do need to offset that with a more, I would say, aggressive approach to cleansing, of making it a part of a healthy lifestyle, of doing something either every month or something every week or something, or even just working into more like a plant-based diet that's clean all the way around. But
Can we talk about the Kabbalah Juice? Can we explain what that is?
Yeah.
I'm just looking at the time and I want to there's so much we want to get in. And we have to confess, Joanna and I thought Kabbalah Juice. She mentioned Kabbalah Juice to us, and we thought, we know a lot about fruits and vegetables, but we haven't heard what Kabbalah Juice is. What is she going to be talking about on our show? Like, what is going on? So we now know what it is. So now you get to share with our audience what Kabbalah Juice is, because woo!
Okay. So this is an acronym.
What did you say, Joanna?
I just said, yeah, that one passed us right by. Kabbalah. I have never seen that at a farmer's market. I want to buy one.
I was thinking Kabbalah, she spelled it wrong, and it was going to be something regarding the Kabbalah, and there was a religion, like, I thought we were going to go into, like, I'm Jewish, and I'm like, we're going to go into Kabbalah Juice? I've never even heard of that. But anyways, what's Kabbalah Juice?
So this is a blend that, so Don Tolman is the father of Tyler Tolman, and he learned so much from ancient cultures, and brought forth a lot of the wisdom of how they kept themselves healthy. And so he came up with the Kabbalah Juice. And so I call it drinking from the tree of life. So what it is,
yeah, lady.
Kabbalah is, C is for carrot, A is for red apple, B is for beet, A is for yellow apple, L is for lemon, and then A is for green apple. Yeah, green apple.
We have all of those.
Yeah, the 3 colors of the apples plus carrot and beets. You can also add in some ginger or some greens like kale or alfalfa grass, barley grass. But it's a beautiful, extremely tasty blend. And with all of the apples, and it's drinking from the tree of life.
That's right. There you go. Man, lady, you're good. You called that Kabbalah. I didn't even put Kabbalah with Kabbalah together.
Yeah. So the thing with all of these, so they're all in your card deck. So with the apples, that's extreme. The fiber in the apples is really healthy and good for cleansing the digestive tract, but it's also really nutritious for the entire body. Okay. Carrots are really good for the eyes, the digestive system, the skin. Lemons is super good for the lymph, helping emulsify the fat from the circulatory system, cleaning out the lymph, the liver. Beets are super good for the liver. So it's, and thinking of, where would I start? A good suggestion would be then to do 7 days of Kabbalah Juice. And that's really cleansing and balancing for the entire body, the digestive system and the endocrine system, the circulation, the lymph, the liver. So that's a good place to begin.
So if you don't mind, can you read what the words associated with Kabbalah Juice are, so we can take that in energetically? They're on our cards, the words that are on the bottom of the cards, because I want to take in the energy through the Food Healing Oracle deck, what the energy of Kabbalah Juice is.
Okay. So with apples, It's associated with abundance,
Mm.
which brings in just the abundance of healing, the abundance of how apples help with the entire body. There's inherent within apples, some of the itty bitty compounds is it's gold. I want to say monatomic gold,
Yes.
which again correlates with abundance. But that builds the electrical system of the body. So apples with abundance is just building out the entire body. Beets, very grounding. This is very helpful for the liver, which is in Chinese medicine is known as the general, which kind of dictates so many different functions of the body. It cleans everything. It keeps us very regulated. And when if that gets off, then we get into anger, resentment. Underneath that, in a very healthy state of the liver, is joy. And so when we're in a state of joy, then we can be, feet on the ground, enjoying this material world.
Wow, I like that.
If we are, filled with anger and resentment, congestion in the liver, that can be, again, grounding, pulling us down, but yet into a not so healthy manner of denseness. Okay. This is good. Lemons for alchemy. So this is really beautiful because this is one of the best fruits for, again, cleansing and regenerating, building the liver. And it's super good for lemons, citrus, and grapefruit, orange. They're really good for emulsifying fat out of the arteries, which leads to cholesterol and blood sugar problems, out of the lymph, which creates a lot of sludge and lowered immunity. Fatty liver can be eased with the alchemy of lemons. So it's the alchemy of breaking down sludge, toxic sludge, whether it's fatty sludge, plaque, emotional, energetic plaque, congestion sludge, emulsifying, transforming that into a means that the body can then eliminate, to alchemize the health of the body. Okay.
And in making lemons and lemonade, making something new, alchemized from a disease to health. Beautiful.
Yeah, lemons are one of the most powerful fruits for doing all of that.
Beautiful.
Okay. And then with carrots, with empowerment. And so the beta carotene, there's a lot of different types of beta carotene, vitamin A and such in carrots. So traditionally, ancient wisdom was that carrots are associated with the eyes. So if you cut a carrot in crosswise and look at the end of the carrot, it has the little rings, similar to how the eyes are structured. And so you can think of that, empowerment of what are you seeing? Is it what you would like, you're visualizing and seeing in your world of what you want to create, and then you speak it, and then you're empowered to create and stand in your sovereign spiritual power to manifest and run your life? Are you seeing, or are you afraid to see things of what you don't want to deal with? Are you afraid to see your own power? Are you afraid to have conversations of recognizing, what you've done to people to hurt them, and thus you're disowning your empowerment, which can then lead to eye issues, vision issues, metaphorically.
Yeah.
So that's how you can think of carrots.
Awesome.
Bravo!
Yeah.
Bravo! Bravo!
I love that. I just have, one question before we move this forward about do you have any thoughts, or what is your belief in terms of for a plant-based diet, just eating fruits and vegetables for cleansing, for rebuilding, whether cooked versus raw? Does it all have to be raw in order to get that cleansing benefit?
Ideally, in my opinion, it does, because then the heat can destroy the enzymes, the nutrients. Like, for example, when you do a juice, you're just squeezing out the life force, the essence, all the nutrients, all the compounds that science hasn't even discovered yet. And it's a concentrated infusion of nutrition and light. So, and this is another thing that's super important to think about in terms of having more life force energy in your food.
Bioavailable, I call it.
Yeah. So everything has life force energy, or light. Our body is built to acquire light force energy. That's what keeps us running and keeps us alive. And so when you bring in light in the forms of live foods, you're bringing that light, that greater amount of intelligence and energy into your body in a way that is, I want to say, less hampered with.
Mm-hmm.
So when you heat something and cook something too much, not only can you lose the enzymes and the nutrients, but the life force energy of the plant leaves. So it's like you're eating a dead food.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's just, again, my perspective. And
Did we tell Loralee what card I pulled when we were getting ready to, have her come on? I always pull a card before our show just to see what the overall theme would be. And I got ginseng for life force. So and now you're talking about the life force, and Lainey and I talk about that all the time, because all the foods in our deck have a life force that helps us to be emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually alive, right? So we can be really present to what spirit has us doing as our purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
So we need to have that liveliness in our food.
Yeah, and it also allows, like bringing in literally light, photons of light, of life force energy. It's in a way that the cells can easily recognize it, easily absorb the information, easily absorb the energy of it, so that they know how to function, how to repair and heal, to make sure that the DNA is doing what it needs to do. And so that's when the conversation could go into more metaphysical type of a thing, because it's talking about the energetics of the body, the light, the life force.
Loralee, we're going to have you on another time, because
Oh
there's
my
so
God,
much to
so
talk
much
about,
information.
and we're running out of time. But
I'm happy to do it.
We would love to have you back, and thank you for everything that you're
so
sharing.
Much information.
Is there any are you open to us pulling one card for you? You've given so much information to us and our audience and everyone who watches this forever on. But is there anything that I mean, do you do readings? Thank God you're a natural. But if you're open to us, we'd love to. If you have any questions, we can pull one card, and hopefully maybe intend whatever it is that you ask will have relevance to whoever may see this at any time. And then we want to preview our smoothie commercial, because here we're talking about fastest. But in terms of fast, we're excited that our smoothie book is here to really support the detoxification process. We know full well on so many levels that that's what it's all about. So we'll play that in a minute, but let's give you a little bit of a reading.
Okay.
Any question? Because the time is short, so we want to pack it all in the next 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, because I could just keep talking. So you want me to ask you a question?
No, no. You don't have if you have a question in mind that you would like us to answer for you. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have a question.
Bring it. You can say it. What is your question? Yeah.
Let's see, let me formulate it.
Here's a good way that I would say, what is the energy around something? Like, I'd love to know the energy around blank.
Okay. Yeah. What is the energy around partnerships for me?
Good one.
That's
you want
a good
me
one.
to pull a card?
Why don't we both pull a card?
Let's both pull a card. I love
Okay.
that. Okay.
Yes. Love is in the air.
Loralee's partnership.
All right. This is for Loralee. You go first,
Mhm.
Miss Joanna.
I got pineapple for expansion.
Okay.
So to me, that's an indication that this partnership would help you to expand not only your gifts, but expand that continued life force and expand the I feel like there's roads being traveled, expanding the roads that can be traveled, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, I thought that was interesting because I got community cherries.
Uh-huh.
So as she's talking about expanding roads, I saw you opening up building communities in your relationships. You're going to be meeting some new relationships and some new roads and pathways in your community that you're growing. And from I see some new endeavors coming up and creating more, building more community. So you're expanding your business, but there are some relationships that are going to just gravitate right towards you in these new pathways in this the community that you're building. But I see 2 or 3 new endeavors or projects or something that are showing up. You've got this, you got this, but I see some things over here, and that is going to open up actually wider. And through there, some relationships are showing up.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
All
so
that with
welcome.
pineapples and cherries.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad we did this, and we just wanted to make sure. I mean, and that was simple. And hopefully that can relate to anybody else who's listening in terms of where can you expand if you're looking for community. I mean, these are all relative simples, but I actually, but I think we see specific things for you. Like what you're looking for is showing up. And I keep feeling it's over to the right. So whatever it is, it's coming towards you. It's coming. Do you have some things that you're working on? They're like, yeah, they're not in your regular realm, but they're connected, and they're kind of making their way towards the forefront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Good insight.
Okay.
You're so
Yeah.
welcome.
Okay, good. You're welcome. All right. So, should we show our little commercial?
I think it's time to show our little commercial that we're so proud of.
Well, first, let me just say that for all of you who purchased your deck, I almost did it again.
I know.
Purchased your smoothie book, it's here. It's all wrapped, so it's all perfectly put together. And the difference between the first prototype is that we now have a beautiful green wire that matches the book. So it's all hardcover, and you'll see when we show you the commercial that it's like you can use it as a tent when you're making your blends. And you said juice, but so for some people who don't know, there's a difference between juice and blend, where some juicers don't leave, they juice the liquid, but they leave the most important part. So I'm always saying, we always say, and of course we say beyond the blend on our recipe book, because blending is in a blender where every single thing gets part of that food, including seeds and sometimes core and everything else. Right, Loralee? Just so people were aware that there is a difference in juicing and blending.
Yeah. And that fiber is extremely beneficial in cleaning out all the nooks and crannies of the whole intestinal tract.
There we go. All right, everybody, without further ado, let me just first make sure that you are seeing it. Let me share my screen, share the audio, open it up, and could everyone see my screen? Yes?
It's coming. Hold on. Yes. Now. Yes. It's
okay. Up. Here we go.
Get ready to take your smoothie making to a whole new level. Inspired by the Food Healing Oracle deck. Smoothies, nourishing wisdom beyond the blend. An enlightened, whole food, plant-based recipe book like no other. Enjoy 33 different recipes using fruits, vegetables, and spices derived from the Food Healing Oracle deck that blends its healing wisdom and practical gifts into these nutritious flavors. Find the smoothie best for your body and mind by exploring the colors and sacred attributes of each recipe, or draw from the oracle deck to let the cards guide you to the flavor your spirit is craving. This book features an incredible variety of smoothies to elevate your senses, with the fruity sweetness of a classical cold smoothie or the energizing warmth of a hot blend. Experience theme smoothies for nature's 5 elements, chakras, and even angelic connection to nourish your mind, body, and spirit. These recipes are another way to grab your emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being into greater alignment. So grab your smoothie
Whoops.
book.
Yay!
Cut
Oh.
off the very last second, but that's okay. That is,
It cut off at the end.
yeah, it cut off.
Wasn't that cool?
Looks very inviting.
Yes,
very
yes.
That's the idea. So we're gonna so our smoothies are here. They're $20.95, and we wanted to make sure that people, if they were just buying the smoothie book, that we're offering, we're gonna, as our initial launch, free shipping. So because it's $9.95 is a flat rate on our website, but if you enter the code drink up, you'll get $9.95 off. The shipping gets adjusted. So I should just put that in here because people will see this later. Drink up is our code, and that gives you free shipping. So whoever wants a deck, I'm gonna get used to that.
Our
Free
book.
shipping, right? There it is. And I think we're out of time. So is there anything else anybody wants to say as like final words or thoughts?
I think that we have to give something away.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that in a second. Loralee,
Okay.
any final thoughts you want to do?
Just to encourage everyone to delve into understanding more about how the body works on the physical, energetic level, and it's a beautiful journey, and foods are a delight to add to all of that. So, and they're so healing and nourishing and building. So, yeah.
Loralee, you mentioned about a consult or something that you offer. How do people get hold of you?
Yeah. So I sent you the link of where people can find me. So you can just share that around. So what that will take you to is just a little bit of a bio about me. And then from that page, then you can schedule a 15-minute chat with me, no charge, just to share with me, what's going on, what are some of your goals? Would you like to cleanse, heal something? And then I can just share with you some perspectives of how I can support you, some ideas of things that you can do in a holistic way using whole foods. So I invite everyone to just come have a chat with me.
Awesome. Oh, that's
perfect.
Wonderful.
All right, sounds good. Well, we would like to gift somebody a free copy of our smoothie book. We're in that sort of mood. Oh, I thought you were going to say something, Joanna.
No, I'm just waiting for the wheel to come up. Or we can, so if you're here and you haven't put your name in, please do that now.
I'm going to switch over to it. Well, go ahead and list all the names of people who are here tonight at different times, and I'll put it there because we could always get in touch with them as well. So go ahead. I know Tamara. I saw Tamara.
Denise,
Lindsay,
Tony,
Lindsay,
Melissa.
Yeah, if their name, that's the whole idea, is that people need to put their name on there because we don't know who's here all the time unless they put their name in. So I'm just gonna, unless there's somebody else, those are the names I have. If there were other people here, I'm sorry.
Penny's here.
Penny is here.
Yes,
okay, I got Penny.
Here. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Let me go ahead and put the wheel on. Stand by. Stand by. Wheel of names. Okay, good. All right. Good luck to somebody. Some of them, people who may have already ordered, you might want to give it as a gift. But let's see who wins. Here we go. Denise Flood. That girl.
Denise Flood. There you go, Denise. Woo-hoo.
Oh my God, Denise. She's got the mushrooms today. I tell you. All right. Denise Flood, you're in. You're in like Flynn. Denise, you get another. She ordered a book, but she knows she's so generous. She'll give it to somebody. All right. Well, good. So Denise, you get a copy of Smoothies Nourishing Wisdom Beyond the Blend. Everybody else, free shipping. Use the code Drink Up. Loralee, thank you. When you can go back into the comment section, you can put in your info, and we hope to see you again on the show. And thank you for all your stuff. And I was drinking water as she was talking about how important water is, but I'm all about the Kabbalah juice, and now I know what it is.
I have a feeling me and Lainey are going to be blending some of that, juicing some of that Kabbalah juice.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Lots of love. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. And hopefully we'll see you Saturday, right? On our Archangel class. Oh my God. I'm so excited for that.
Thank you so much, Lauralee.
Stay with us. Bye, everybody.
Thanks.